Now, please help us answer the question then, who really does belong on a live streaming video today?
Ooh, that's a tricky question. I'm going to say, here's what I'm going to say as an answer. Anybody who chooses to, and not everyone will make the choice to go live or to be on camera. But for those of you who choose to, even if you're a little afraid, it's still an option for you. It's worth a try.
I had to bring you onto the show to talk about going on camera, and live streaming like a boss, because you're the person who does it. You do it so well, and you help others do it as well. But not just for the sake of going on camera, but to do it in a business-like way, in a professional way that monetizes the whole activity. And that's what we want to get into here. But before we do, Tanya, you've been around, you've got some background. Just fill us in a little bit about your overall background, pre-internet days, if you like, and everything that you've done. Help us to understand a little bit more about Tanya Smith.
Okay, so you don't want me to tell you everything because it's a lot. We'll be here all night, Mike, but I can give a little bit of an overview and just say I'll start by doing a little bit of the pre-video days if that helps.
Yeah.
Because I think people often assume if you show up on camera like you and I do that we've been doing it since birth, and that's absolutely not the truth. I was the person probably maybe close to 10 years ago now who would always say, never put me on camera. Don't ever put me on camera. And what I chose to do, even then, back then, is to record my voice, but over slides. I even had a cartoon character made of myself so that could be on camera instead of me. And you just hear my voice doing internet reviews and reviews of different apps. But I started this because I actually was looking at opportunities to do a little something different. I had been in business already for almost 10 years, and I started in the space of audio. And so I was doing blog talk radio. I don't know if there are any people who are out there
Oh,
that know. You remember?
oh yes, indeed, yes.
Okay, so I did blog talk radio and I did an abundance of other different types of things that telesummits with audio. I even have my own CD set of a summit that I did. All of those things. And I wasn't really afraid to speak or to talk about what I know, but I was not necessarily someone who wanted to be on camera. I didn't want to be judged. I'm very much an introvert. So it just wasn't a natural, or at least at the time, I didn't believe that it was a natural gift for me to be able to just jump on video and talk to people. Now, going back even further than that, Mike, I'm a mother and a mother of two daughters. And prior to doing anything in business at all, I was a corporate girl. I still am
Mm.
a corporate girl. And I was doing training for a major company, instructional design, that type of thing. But again, not video. The way that I got into business, I had just had my first child and I had moved to Dallas, Texas. And a woman approached me in the mall and she said, how would you like to have freedom? And at the time, I just kind of laughed at her because I'm pushing this baby carriage and I'm just thinking freedom because at the time, my husband and I were living apart since he couldn't get here due to 9/11. He was having some trouble getting transferred here. We had just moved. And what ended up happening is I took her up on her offer, which was a marketing. I'm just going to say, if you know anything about Dallas, pink cars are the thing. Okay.
Saying that more when you attended an Amway meeting, but I'm with you, don't worry, because I think we've all had the would you like freedom pitch given to us.
Yes, yes, yes. And you know what? It was an excellent opportunity for me to see something beyond the corporate golden handcuffs, as they call it. It was a chance for me to see that I actually had the ability to create a business for myself. And that was something I had never thought of before then. So there's a lot more, but I'll start with that.
All right. Look, that gives us plenty of hooks to hang something on. And so, all right. So we've got some corporate background. We've got some training in the corporate world background. We've got the business nuances. We've dipped our toes. I don't know how deep you and your husband went into the pool of direct marketing and so on, and the pink cars and so forth. I see you've still got a bit of pink happening in the background, so there's still a bit of influence there.
That's good.
All right,
Yeah.
so here we are then at one hook I do want to hang something on, the word introvert, because it comes up a lot. I see it, you would see it. People make comments like, I hate seeing myself on video. I can't go on video. I can't do it. I'm too scared, whatever. I'm neurodivergent. I hear a lot of different terminologies that sound to me like, for them, valid reasons why not, but are they all valid reasons why not in your experience?
It's always valid if it's something you believe in. I'll never question anybody's personal beliefs. What I will say is that you have to question personally whether or not it's something that is a limiting belief that's actually not real. If you're hanging on to the fact that you think you have nothing to say, if you're believing that for some reason you're just not enough, if you believe that for some reason other people will judge you, like all of these things have maybe some element of truth to them. But a lot of times we allow those to become roadblocks instead of simply finding a way to get past them. And I think, honestly, Mike, the real gift for me in finding video is that it helped me to grow not only from a professional standpoint, but to also personally grow. It helped me to model behavior for my two daughters that they never would have seen from me because here's mom standing up and doing something that she kept saying, I'll never do, right? Because I had a real reason why. And my reason at the time was that I knew I needed to do something different if I wanted my business to grow. And so my saying is when you do the things that others don't, you get the opportunities that others won't. And I knew I had to do something dramatically different at the time. And video happened to be the thing I thought I'd try. And so I decided I was going to commit to doing live streams once a week for a year. And that was life changing.
In what way?
It was life changing in that it created opportunities for the personal growth that I'm talking about. Because initially, so check this out, because a lot of you, especially if you have not done video, one of the biggest fears that we have is that no one will show up, right? We think no one will show up. And no one was showing up, which is why I had to give myself that runway of a year because I know myself when it comes to exercise. I know myself when it comes to any type of habit. There's no way I'm going to create the habit simply by doing it a couple of times. I knew I needed to give myself the runway. And so after several weeks, actually, I started seeing different people pop up here and there. And the thing that was really transformational, Mike, was one day when I decided, you know what, I'm not going to do this live because nobody's going to miss me. And I didn't go live. And someone reached out in my inbox and asked, what happened? Are you okay? Where are you? Yes.
Cool.
Personal growth, professional growth. I started getting speaking opportunities. I started having people reach out for assistance and support and to invest in my services and programs. And I started to have people ask for a community, which I thought that I'm not a networker. I'm not someone who manages communities, but it ended up that I was. I wouldn't have known all of that had I not done the live streams.
Such an inspiration. And so we're talking with, and we acknowledge our Tanya viewers who are with us. Thank you for joining us live. And for those watching the replay or listening to the audio on one of the podcast channels, thank you. And we're with Tanya Smith, the Stream Like a Boss. Now, you trademarked that, didn't you, Stream Like a Boss, because you didn't want anybody else to be the boss.
That's right. I didn't want anybody else to be streamed like a boss.
That's exactly right. So astuteness goes a long way. We've got a bit of an idea of the background. Excuse me for looking down, Tanya, and also guest viewers, because I've got some notes here, because I don't like to wing it and stuff it up for the sake of the viewers. I want to give them value. Okay, background, yes. Oh, yes. Okay, before we get into some itty-bitties that might help our viewers who want to stream, go on camera, haven't done it yet, so let's think of the first timer. But before we get there, let's just acknowledge your presence online. So you're all over the internet. Let me just say, I think they should call the internet the Tanya Smith from now on, because you're on you're on Facebook, YouTube. I've got you, etc. Without going all the podcast channels. So how prominent are you on YouTube? You've got 3,000 subscribers and 800. I do want to just mention here, if I may, Tanya, if you'll just allow me this.
Sure.
That profile image of yours isn't an image on your Facebook profile. It's a little 5-second video. Not only are you streaming like a boss, but you're showing up on Tanya. Hose me down, will you? How did you do that?
So there's a way. It's so funny. First of all, you've done your homework, which I'm just sitting here in awe that you know all of those things, but I appreciate it and I'm flattered. The profile image, actually, I just had the headshot, and there's a way for you to animate your photos, right? And so when you upload a GIF file, some people call it GIF, GIF, you can upload animated GIFs to Facebook as your profile. So that's what I did. That's all.
It's not just that's all, because this is a point of difference when you look at your Facebook page and see that little 5-second attractive video of you with a head tilt, and it just stands out and it makes a difference. And that's what, and I want you to talk about this now, coming back to video, and for our viewers who may be first timers who are about to go on camera and face the fear, because you talk about the difference that video can help present you to your audience, your followers, your subscribers, the depth and scope of you that just the written word can't provide. Speak to that for us, please, Tanya.
This is the thing that I think really differentiates those who do video. It is that you are willing to be vulnerable. And because of that willingness to be vulnerable and to have a heart for serving others, because what I realized really is that video is not about me at all. It's really about people on the other side of the camera. It's about the people who are receiving and consuming the information. But the thing that is so powerful is that you have a 3D, like you have a full expression of who that person is. In this day and age where we are really trying to determine, is that real or is that AI? Everybody's asking that question about your content, your images, your videos, your everything. And the thing that I love about the power of live streaming in particular is that it's real conversations with a real human being. So they hear you, they see you, they feel through the camera the expression of emotion that you're putting out there. Anybody who's watching this right now probably can tell that I actually really mean what I say. I'm not just telling you that I love live video. I feel that, and I want that to come through the camera. And I think that's the power, is that you get the benefit of really getting to know and trust people through video, whereas with text, people might interpret the read differently. They may not be able to really interpret it in the way that you meant or intended. And also, the repurposing value of video is just tremendous, because you have the opportunity to take the transcript and to turn that into something, to turn the video itself into something, to have imagery from it. There's all kinds of things you can do with video, and particularly, again, live, because I love the human to human interaction that we have.
You mentioned transcript. You've actually, when I was doing some background there, I saw that you speak about the use of transcript. And correct me if I got it wrong, because it made me think, what's Tanya really saying here? When you take the transcript of a live, such as we're doing a live now, there will be a transcript that Substack AI automatically generates of this video, this live stream, when it's touched by Substack AI. You take a transcript and you use it in what way to create further repurposed content? What's your secret there, Tanya?
So my secret is that when you have the words from what you've spoken, it allows you to create hundreds of pieces of content. So I use something called the single source framework. What I'm doing after every live is I'm taking that information and I'm using one of my favorite LLMs, which is Claude. So I'm big into Claude and Claude Cowork right now. I
Mm.
sheet that transcript. So I paste that transcript either into Claude or into another favorite tool of mine, Notebook LM by Google. And I say, actually, I've trained it to do this thing. It's turned into multiple social media posts. It's pulling quotes. It's pulling content together that could become an email newsletter. It could become a series of shorts and reels. It could become a series of quote images. There's a number of things that you can do with the transcript. And the value of this transcript is that it literally is your voice. It's your voice. It's you speaking, so that when you're using any type of AI tools, it's not going to give you the bot speak. The output is as good as the input. And so the input I'm giving this is my actual voice, so that it then outputs in a way that I would be speaking. And that's, again, another powerful way to really leverage your live stream.
I know you're heavily into the use of AI and you're quite firm in your position on it. And I say that because when I read your post on Facebook, the one that comes up as the hero post, if you like, how there's a comment, let me put it in the Mike Searles vernacular. If you don't like it, buzz off. Now, you didn't put it anything, you didn't say it like that. That's just my Australian way. But you have a firm position on AI and you're unapologetic about it, aren't you? The use of AI and the tools.
I am. I am. And I'm
So,
also very conscientious about the way that I use it, though, Mike, too. And anytime I'm using any type of new tool, whether it's AI or something else, it needs to align with my values. There need to be certain decisions that I'm going to make about the way in which I'm going to use that. And I'm clear about that in my terms of use and all of the other spaces that I play, because I do want people to be clear about how I use it, why I use it, and when I won't.
you've got this experience with AI. So you're the stream like a boss, you're the video stream spokesperson, authority that we can go to for exactly what we're doing now for information answers. You're using AI and you're using it and unapologetically. Let me ask you this, because I use AI, as many of our viewers would use AI, but I wonder whether I'm missing out by not using Claude. I don't use Claude. I wonder if you just speak to this, please. I used to use ChatGPT, as a lot of us did, and then I flicked it, and I'm now hooked into the Google ecosystem, which means Gemini and Notebook LM. Am I missing out by not using Claude?
Ooh, that's a good question. This is what I do with Claude, and I don't know if you're missing out, because here's the thing. I still believe that Google ultimately will dominate the space, because they just already have their hooks in so many different things. They already own so much of the space where our information is stored anyway. And Google has had some major innovations even over the past couple of weeks. So I don't know that you're missing out, but what I'll tell you is that I primarily use Claude Cowork because, and it's on the desktop app. It's not a part of, if you just go to Claude.ai on your browser, you won't be able to access this. But if you install the mobile, or not mobile, but the desktop app for Claude on a device, you can then access something called Cowork. And the reason why I love that, Mike, is because it has given me the ability to multiply myself. I used to wish that I was a superwoman, that I could have this superpower of multiplying myself and being everywhere and doing all these things at one time. Claude Cowork has allowed me to do that, because I've been able to create team members, a team of 7 different members, and each of them runs tasks and does different activities for me and on my behalf while I'm sleeping, while I'm serving clients, while I'm doing a live stream. It does this for me on a regular schedule. So I can set the timing for when it's going to send me my next set of live stream topics to pull from. I have a bookkeeper who's reviewing different expenses. Now, all of these things are connected to other platforms, such as my Google Calendar, my Gmail, etc. But it gives me a daily brief every morning at 6 a.m. When I wake up, I can go to the daily brief and see what tasks are pending. What do I have coming up for the day? What are some key meetings I don't want to miss? What are some top trends that I need to probably write about and let my community know about? It does all of this simply by me training it once and then just having conversations.
I'm all ears, I tell you why. I'm very well organized with these tools at your fingertips. And you leave me for dead just listening to that about how organized you are. And and it's a little lesson just given there, viewers. Tanya's spoken about Claude and how she's using Claude to help, and these 7 archetypes or characters that are your team. Actually, you touched on something there that made me think. So when you go on, no, not now so much. When you started doing live, so okay, we had the picture of Tanya being the introvert who would do audio because comfortable doing audio, and you had your cartoon characters voicing the voiceover for the cartoon characters. Sounds very cute. I've got to have a look at one of those one day. So okay, and then fast forward, you do your light, you start doing camera work. Then or even now, where I'm going here is alter ego and the performing persona. When you show up on camera in front of the lens, looking right into the lens right now, are we seeing only Tanya, or are we seeing and hearing an alter ego or a performing persona?
Wow, I have never been asked that. I've done a lot of interviews, Mike, and that is an excellent question. I've never been asked. What I can tell you with all sincerity, and for those people who are in the chat, because I recognize some of those names, what you know is that wherever you see me, whether it's the grocery store, if you see me at a school, if you see me at my corporate office, if you see me on camera, I'm the same person all the time. And that's one of the biggest compliments I always get when I go to these different conferences and networking events. Tanya, you are exactly the same person. You look the same, you talk the same, you are the same person every time I see you on camera. And honestly, I think it's important to me. I know that's not important for everyone, but it's a part of my personality and my value system that I want to be authentic and transparent. And I want people to trust that when I do speak, I'm saying things from the heart. It's genuine and it's real.
Very good. I've got it. I think our viewers will get it too. All right, you've got a few signature programs, a few proprietary terminologies, I think we could say, and I'm going to give them to you. I've got a few here, and you can just speak to them and give you a few little explanations. This is the time to pitch if you want to. No pink cars or Amway circles. Okay, the video boss persona, you've just answered to that, so we can strike that off. Shall we take the pen and put a line through that? Okay, the human first creator.
I don't want to be led by any tool or AI. I want to always be in the forefront. And I am a type A personality anyway. So I love structure and control of whatever I can control. So I don't believe that we should be handing off our personality and our truths to a bot. It's one of the reasons, Mike, honestly, initially I thought about doing AI video cloning, and I've done a few, like I know how to do it. And at some point, somebody asked me, why don't you just teach that? Why don't you create a workshop and teach that? But for me, it's so important to lead with my human self when it comes to video, since this is the space I play in, that I could not, in good conscience, outsource that. This is the place where I actually get to connect and to meet other people in the chat, on the screen with you. And I don't want to outsource my humanity. And the same goes whenever I'm creating written content. I want to lead with my own ideas because, we can go into Claude or ChatGPT or Gemini and ask it, hey, write me a LinkedIn post. But if we haven't provided any type of information whatsoever, it's going to make up whatever it thinks it needs to write. And then we're being led by it and saying, oh, okay, I kind of like that, but maybe this. No, I want to go in first and say, hey, I need to write a LinkedIn post about these things, and here are my thoughts. Now help me enhance and improve the flow of that. There's a difference, I think, in the way that we create content. It's just a choice I've made. And I know that there are other people who are making a different choice. So I'm not knocking that. But when I say human first, that's what I mean, that we lead and then everything else is a support of what we are doing.
Got it. Your background, is that real or is that a digital background we're seeing there?
It's real. You can't see the entire room, but I have a whole space, a whole studio that I've created
Get out of here.
because nobody was using the family room anymore. So I took all of the stuff out and redesigned this whole room. It's a whole space up here upstairs. That's my studio. So yeah, this is real.
It looks, a tat on your arm there, I see. Hold up your, wowee.
Wait, let me see.
There
Can
you
you see
go.
it?
How long
Just
have you
this
had that
koi
tattoo?
fish.
What is it?
It's two koi fish, one going
yes.
up and one going down, and talking about
Yep.
it represents the struggle of life, but also the beauty. The last couple of years, we've had a lot of family members pass and just a lot of turmoil. And this year, I'm turning a big number. So, in summer, no, I'm turning 55. I will
What is
be
it?
55 this year. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't believe it.
Yeah. Thank you.
I don't believe it. I can't believe it. Turn that fire hose on me again. But seriously, first of all, I'm sorry to hear that you and your family have had issues to deal with. We all have issues. Everyone's going through something, but you've had those issues, and I'm sorry to hear that. And the tat that you've got on your arm is your way of wearing
Reminder.
a
It's
reminder.
It's
How
a
long have you
reminder
had that
that you're going
tattoo?
to have ups and downs, that as
Yeah.
many things that you see, when you see things start to go wrong, or if you're going through a
Yeah.
season of challenges, just remember that there's an upside and that it's only a season. That's what it reminds me.
Now, what we see of Tanya Smith, now I've seen a few of your videos even before I thought of asking and inviting you to join me on the show. I was watching you because with the tag "stream like a boss," you want to say, what's this about and who's this person and how can she help me? And so I was listening to what you were saying, obviously, when you were answering that question about human first creator, but I was also observing how you were saying it. And here's what our viewers will notice too when watching you now and listening to you, Tanya, is you're very measured and paced in not only your voice and tone, but also your body movements when talking. Now, tell me you've put some work into that.
You're asking a lot of really good questions. Okay, so yes. And a part of it is that it really is who I am. I've always been someone who takes great care at what I say and how I say it. I've always been someone who, over the years, recalls that your communication and what you say and how you say it can create roadblocks or it can open gateways. And so just being really conscious of that, Mike, I guess over time I've matured the skill. But I did start out early on trying to do Toastmasters and I failed miserably. I was never good with that.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, I was not good with Toastmasters. So I still say ums and ahs. You'll still hear that in some of my videos. I did recently join the National Speakers Association because I have been doing speaking on stages for some time. The reason why I think I can be good in these environments and spaces is because I believe in what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There have been times when I've been asked to speak about things I don't know and I'm not passionate about. And in those times, it really does not come across the way that maybe you and I are talking now. When I believe in what I'm saying, I'm passionate about it, and I feel like I've studied and I've researched and I've analyzed and I know enough to say it with my full chest, as some people say, it comes off like I really mean it. So I don't know that everyone is going to have a polish, but I've been doing this for a while. So maybe that's why.
It shows, obviously it shows. And the reason I bring it up for our viewers, Tanya, is because, okay, a lower tone, and I'm not just speaking from my experience here. I know I'm not trying to teach you, Tanya, I'm not trying to teach anybody. I'm just speaking from my own experience. I've had this background myself as on stage and as a performer. The lower tone and the slower speaking, the lower tone, the lower volume, and the slower speaking pace has authority about it. That's the thing. And when you do speak about authority have you got it here in one of your courses? wanting to think, no. I know in some of your information, authority, genuineness, yes, authenticity, but also authority.
Yeah.
And the authority from expertise, all the expertise and all your Mary Kay work and whatever it is, whatever the pink was, and all of that brings you to where you are right now with our viewers on Like Searle. But all of it brings us to this moment.
Yes.
But as you said, there's not enough time to explain all of that background, and not all viewers will want to know all of the background. They just want to know, what can you do for me today? What can you do for me right now? That's why when we titled this, when I titled this, Who Belongs on Video, because I wanted to grab the attention of someone who might be thinking, is video really for... So when somebody says to you, Tanya, either a DM or a reply to an email, or they come up to you at a live event and, Tanya, I want to do it. All right. You've inspired me. I want to do it, but I just don't think I can. What would be your first comment to them?
I would ask them, are you willing to try? Because to your question, and I thought about this as you were just speaking about authority, this isn't overnight. I didn't have the studio overnight. I started with the basics. I started in a walk-in closet. I started with a camera that had a very bad position. It pointed right up my nose. It was just really silly. I started with a bad microphone. I started when I didn't feel like I was not nearly as smooth and polished as you may hear me speaking now, but you have to start. And before you start, you have to be willing. So I would ask, are you willing to try? Because that's all I want to know. I can work with people who are willing to try. I had to give up this idea of convincing people that you should be on camera. I used to try to do that, Mike. I don't do that anymore. I don't convince you. If you know it's something you want to do and you're willing to try, that's something we can work with.
Yeah, I love
You're
it.
more likely to commit to it. Yeah.
I love it. I love it, Tanya. So another one of your positioning statements, crickets to clients. What's that about?
Really, that you're probably going to start with 0 people watching. And if
Just
you're
like
in
you did.
business, yeah, it's going to be crickets. And if you're in business for yourself, that's not what you want. But you can get from point A to point F or G or whatever it is you're looking to get to. You can get to the goal if you stay committed and you stay consistent.
I remember the name Russell Brunson may or may not mean something to you, but in the internet marketing world, he's a big name. And I recall how he did his, just when ClickFunnels was just in its very primary days, he did a live webinar every day for a year. And for most of that year, he had no viewers or very few viewers. And then the rest of it is history, as we know.
That's right.
The Good Enough Tech setup. Now, you've got that beautiful backdrop there. You've got the boss lady sign there working. You've got the lovely leathers. Everything's working. You've got the pink mic. Everything's set up there, and you've probably got high tech. What camera do you use?
I have a Sony A6400 that I'm using right there, and I've got about 3 other cameras, 1, 2, 3, 4 other cameras here for different positions and perspectives.
Oh my goodness, you've got a TV studio. And what about your microphone? What about your microphone?
It's a Shure mic, so a Shure MV7X, I think, is what I'm using now. And I have a Rodecaster Pro 2, which is a sound mixer. So I have all the gear now, but I did not start with that. And anytime somebody new is coming in and asking, I say, hey, start simple, like the phone. You probably already paid $1,000 or more for your phone. Start simple. Yeah.
Yeah, just get started, eh? Good enough text. Okay. Owning your audience and bypassing the algorithm. This one caught my eye.
I think maybe I was a little frustrated and irritated because what I recognize is that it's not always the smartest or the most experienced in the room that gets visibility. As a matter of fact, it usually isn't. It's the people who are the best marketers.
Yeah.
So one of the things I was frustrated with is the fact that I put so much effort in something. This happened probably a few years ago. I had a group on Facebook, And it was growing steadily. But a couple of things I noticed. One is that as I was posting regularly and putting my hard work into creating this content, it wasn't even getting seen. It's not that people didn't want to see it because they signed up to be in the group, but the algorithm, and there were other powers that be within the company that just decided they didn't want to show the content. And then what really broke my heart at one point is my group, my community had started crowdsourcing a document of resources for video and live streaming and marketing and all. Everybody was contributing to this document and adding links, and it was so awesome. It was incredible. And sadly, I did not back this document up anywhere else. It was inside of Facebook at the time when they gave you the ability to create documents and notes. And one day it just disappeared. No idea where it went to. Reached out to support, and of course, no response. Never got a response. Still to this day, don't know what happened to that. But that was the beginning of the seed for me that I always want to own my spaces. And it honestly, even as I think about Substack too and other spaces like it, yes, it's great that these platforms exist because we get to coexist and to support each other and encourage each other. All of us are doing out here doing things. You're creating content, I'm creating content. But one of the things that's important to me is that I want the ability to be able to really own the space that I have. I want to own the real estate. I want to be able to sell the community space and platform on my space. I want my own website. I want to be able to back things up. I want support, even if it's me doing the support when I want it. So, yeah, I think it's important for all of us to really consider, are we allowing other spaces to control the content and to control our voices? Or are we simply leveraging those spaces as rented land because they all are rented land? Unless you have some type of stock or other ownership in them, they're rented land. And at any given time, they can choose to remove you, they can choose who they show you in front of. The other thing that I really have rebelled against is the idea of posting 500 times a day on every single platform. I made a decision, Mike, that I'm in a season where I don't want to do that. So I'm going to do the things. It's not for me about the volume in this moment, in this time. It is for me about the people that I reach are the right people, and I'm reaching with them with the right message at the right time. That's what I pray for. That's what I ask for. And I know that when they show up, that it was a relationship that was meant to be.
Yeah. I
So,
like that philosophy. I
yeah.
like that. Thank you, Tanya. I do like that. And I'm very conscious of the time that you're giving with us and also conscious of our viewers with us at the moment. So we're beginning to close up. Just before I ask the last question or two, where would you like people, okay, we're on Substack and we've got Substackers with us right now. So if they want to know more about you, if they don't already subscribe to you, they'll find you by clicking on a link. But what about elsewhere off the platform? Where would you most want people to connect with you, or how would you want people to connect with you if they're interested in talking with you and perhaps finding out how you can help them?
I'll just give one link. And if you go to that link, you'll be able to connect however you choose. It's links.streamlikeaboss.tv. And that way you can choose if you want to follow on YouTube or Instagram or have a coffee chat with me sometime, whatever you want to do.
I'll pop that in the show notes as well. Tanya, I think we've covered as much as we can in a short time that we're together on a live stream on Substack. Time always goes very quickly when you're having fun, and I've had some fun with you, and I'm sure our viewers have enjoyed listening to you explain some of the things for the background, how you got to where you are, that beautiful studio, your microphone, your camera, some of those questions I put to you. I did want to ask you about those beautiful AI infographics that you've been
Oh,
publishing. Some of
okay.
those look, yeah, please.
Two places where I go. Okay, so I'm a huge believer in creating visual information for people. So what I love right now is if I've created a system or a framework or a workflow, or or I want to easily explain something, I'm either going to use ChatGPT because the latest version of their images 2.0 is amazing. So that's one.
Right.
But the other one, here's my real favorite, is Notebook LM.
Well, then,
Yeah, because with Notebook LM, what you can do, and a lot of people don't think about this, you can click the button and just say create an infographic, but they give you the ability to customize it. So I have a visual aid, I have a document that I've created that has very specific information about caricatures and the colors, the color scheme that I use. And I go and pull the snippet from that document into Notebook LM whenever I'm creating an infographic so that it has characters that look like me, so that it has my branded colors and things
yeah.
that I would use. So, yeah, those are my two favorites.
Wow. I knew Notebook LM was going to get mentioned because I saw it down the bottom right-hand corner of one or two of your recent infographics, and I encourage our viewers to seek out and look and find and look at some of Tanya's fantastic infographics, and you certainly nailed the whole input and whatever prompts you've been using, etc., because some of those little cartoony images do look like you, and the one that I saw this morning where it's just all very good. Now, last question, and probably I could say for some people one of those important questions I could ask anybody about live streaming and in connected with being a solopreneur or a creator. We're going to say the swear word, the profanity for some, and that is money and monetization. Now, the reason I know, right? Did I just see the lights flash? But now, look, not everybody. Okay, all right, okay. Not everybody is into it. Okay, if you're a create, okay, monetization. You do monetize.
Oh, yeah.
And well, there you go, unapologetically, as do I. Live streaming video and monetization. Does it make it easier for you to monetize your programs, your services?
I'll say it depends because everyone has different purpose or reasons behind how they leverage their live streams. For me, I leverage one live stream every week as much as possible to lead people to my programs, products, and services. And I don't mean that I'm getting on my live stream and instantly saying, hey, go buy my stuff. It's me about using this tool, this media, as a way to bridge people from not knowing who I am at all to knowing, liking, and trusting. It's creating that relationship over time as people continue to show up. And I continue to show up because I've committed to being on video. And then they want to have more of an experience with me. They want to be a part of the community. They want to experience a workshop or a program that I'm teaching because I'm teaching and giving in the video. And so they want to know if she's doing all of that in a 30 to 45-minute video, gosh, she must be doing a whole lot in a 90-minute workshop. And it's true because I do. So I think that I will never, ever tell anyone to apologize for monetization. This is how we feed our families. This is how we sustain and are able to keep bringing and delivering great content because we're fed and we're housed and all of those other things. So yeah, I'm not first a creator. Yeah, I create, but I am a business strategist first and foremost. And a creator just happens to be a part of the system that I use to deliver and distribute my content.
Could you just say that again for us, please? You're not a what first? You're a what?
I'm not a creator first.
Yeah.
I'm a business strategist first. If I'm teaching other people how to actually leverage things like live streams to monetize and to grow their brand and to become authorities in their field so that they can also generate revenue and income, I can't be afraid to ask for the income myself. And by the way, it's worth it. You have to see yourself and what you do as valuable. I know that what I deliver is of value. So I don't have any concern whatsoever with putting currency onto that because it's an exchange.
Oh my goodness. Do you have a program on that? Because that in itself is that in itself, forget about video bossing. That's a webinar, it's a masterclass, it's a video course, it's everything, isn't it?
Yeah, it's psychology. It is you
Psychology.
understanding. It really is. I was a
Yeah.
psychology major, right? It truly is
Wait,
about
oh,
how you
no,
think.
excuse me, sorry. Pardon me for interrupting you. You can't just let that flip across like it's just a fly flying across the screen. Come on, Tanya. You're what? A psychology what?
Yeah, I majored in psychology. That was my major in college. And then I have a master's in business administration as well.
Oh
So,
my goodness.
yeah, the psychology and the thought process behind monetization, I think it's about really sometimes people question whether or not what they're delivering and offering is of value.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe that, it is going to be harder for you to ask for a sale. But if you're
Yeah.
very confident because you know you've seen lives transformed, you've seen people's businesses grow. Let me give you a really quick example because I know we're short on time. A woman who was a podiatrist came to me and she asked me in a discovery call, she said, I really don't know why my Instagram is not working. And so we looked at it. I said, let's take a look and see what you've got on there. And it was a bunch of selfies and pictures of her in her daily life, which that's fine. I do some of that too. But she talked to me about a proprietary foot thing, some type of shoe that she had created that was helping people to realign their feet. I didn't see any of that on her Instagram. She said, I just don't want to sound salesy. I said, but
Mhm.
people are missing out. People are missing out on this. This could be a gift. This is something that people need to have. People that have struggled with this problem need your solution, but you're refusing to talk about it because you don't want to be salesy. And there's that psychology. You have to know that what you are doing is of value and has worth and be comfortable assigning currency to it. If you can't believe that for yourself, what's going to come out of your mouth will be that you're not confident, that you don't believe it will help, and it won't sell. So,
Tanya Smith. Tanya Smith, you've blown my mind. And for our viewers, your own subscribers and followers might be missing out simply because you're not on camera. Now, as Tanya said, Tanya's not about convincing anybody that you have to or that you should or that you will, but if you want to, would you be willing to give it a try, quote unquote? Tanya, I am conscious of the time, especially your time. We do thank you for coming on to the live show here, the Star Maker Show, and sharing yourself, your thoughts, some of your humour, your genuineness, your authority, the whole lot, the whole kit and caboodle. And I'll be including that Linktree link in the show notes where our viewers on the live or the recording can go and find out more about what you have to offer and connect with you if they want to actually ask you about more of your programs and how you can help them directly or as part of a group. Tanya, I'm going to wind it up right now because I know time's valuable and yours is valuable and so is our viewers. So thank you so much, Tanya Smith. Stream like a boss on Substack. Stream like a boss everywhere else on the internet that you care to poke your eyes into. She's there. And it's been a pleasure having you on the show, Tanya.
and thank you so much for having me, Mike. It's been my pleasure.